Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna go from this to this. We may have to duck under the radar, but we'll get there. Okay, maybe not. So first thing we need to do, we're gonna put the reverse camera right here in the middle. And so we need to take this whole trim piece off, and there's bolts on the inside. And so we're gonna need to remove this whole cover by pulling these panels off. Right, and then we're gonna have to just make sure you slide that through there. And so now we're done with this piece. Set it over here. Okay, and so now we need a 10mm ratchet to take these bolts off here. Okay, so once you remove these nuts here, there are tabs back here. You see this tab, this white piece. You have to squeeze that with a pair of pliers and then push it up through. There's one here in the middle, and then there's one on this side as well. That one's already been pushed through. So I use a pair of needle nose pliers to do that. These are electrical pliers, but any needle nose pliers will do. But you just squeeze them together and then work it up through there, like that. And then same on this side. Okay, so there's two additional bolts that were hidden originally. One right there and one right there. Once those nuts are removed, again, then you squeeze these sides and then that should push through. Okay, so this is the camera we're going to be installing, and I'll put a link to where I got it. And originally we said we were going to install the camera here. Well, when we got to looking at it, there's actually a spot for a camera here, and it's slanted. So we're not exactly sure how that's going to work out, but so we're going to go ahead and install it here, which looks like it'll kind of conceal the camera a little bit better. So we're going to see, install it there and see how that looks. Okay. So when we flip this over, it has a spot to drill. So I'm going to hit the center with, and this little drill bit actually came with the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through, and then I'm going to turn it around and go from the other side and finish cutting the hole. So like I said, we're going to start here, putting that right in the center. Okay, so once we got the hole drilled, because of this lip right here, the camera didn't actually fit, so I had to use this round file and make it a little bit bigger so that the camera could go in there and then up under that lip like that. So now the next part we need to do is it comes with a piece of double-sided tape. Figure out which way that's supposed to go. That looks right. Peel that side off. Stick it to the camera. Okay. We're going to feed the wire through. And just make sure, since you cut that hole, plastic shouldn't be too sharp, but as you're feeding it through, make sure you don't nick the wires or cut them or anything.
Probably gonna want to take the tape off.
Yeah. Okay, and then so we're going to take this tape off this side. And again, like I was saying, this is a real tight fit, so we got to be quick about it. And then we want to make sure that it's straight-ish. All right, and then on the back side, run this nut through through the wire and tighten. Just snug that in so that it's nice and tight up against the plastic so it's not going anywhere. Okay, that should be good. We're gonna drill a hole right through here and then put this grommet right through there to keep any water or anything from going through. Okay, now this could be hot, so be real careful. And on the back side, there's definitely gonna be some shards of metal, so be real careful. But now we're gonna shove this grommet in here. Okay, so now that we have this all wired up and this nut is secure and we've got the grommet put in, we're going to run this wire through here and line these thing back up, and those two should pop, and there's one here in the middle that should pop. Well, it should. It's right here. I just want to make sure that that's in good. Okay, so we're not going to put these nuts back on just yet because we want to make sure it's all, when we get it all wired up, that everything's working. So the next task for us to do is to fish this wire all the way down through here and get it up into the front of the car. Okay. So we ran this new wire in through the existing clips, and then here's our connection to our other wire. So I zip tied that to the wire bundle, and that plugs in here. And the reason I did that is so should we ever need to take this off in the future, we can unplug right here, pull this wire out, and everything will come out just like it should. Okay, so now I've got a coat hanger that I'm going to use to fish the wire from the trunk into the front of the car. And so if you look right here, where this wire goes, right here is where we're gonna run that wire. And so I'm gonna go in the driver or in the passenger or driver's side in the back and push this coat hanger through right here. So I'll show you where I'm gonna do that. So you'll need to pull this weather stripping off, and right here, you can get a shot of this, right underneath this is where we want to run this coat hanger, right through there, and we're gonna fish it through that hole in the back. And then we'll pull the wire out through here, and we're gonna run it right down along here. So here's the wiring diagram. Here's the camera. Camera's here. Use my finger. So we got the camera here, that's already installed. And then over here is the wiring harness, which is this right here. So this is the connection we made on the elbow of the trunk, and now we're running this cable up to the front of the car so we can plug it into this. And so this says this yellow power supply goes to with the wire coming out of the video, the male end of the video. So that's what this is going to connect to. The red wire we're actually going to tape off. It's not going to be used, so we're going to use one of the a butt connector like this, and we'll tape it off. And the ground wire for back here, we could ground that anywhere, but what we're going to do is use another butt connector and run the wire all the way back up to here and ground it to this wire as well, which is right here. Now, it's possible we don't need to ground it because this connection with the male video plug sometimes does the ground, but we're going to go ahead and ground it all out just in case. And we have another, we're going to use this, I'm going to use this extra wire and just set it in the front and pull and, you know, get as much wire as we need because this wire isn't quite long enough. It's fairly short. First thing is we're going to cap this one off. And then using our other connector to get Set that to a ground. Make sure that that's in there good. Okay, and then we'll come back once we're going to test everything, and we'll come back and tape all this with black tape. I've got these cords here, and I just went ahead and pulled them up into the front seat. And so now what we're going to do is to test everything and make sure everything's hooked up right. We're going to pull the dash apart and then just dry fit all of this, and then turn the car on and see if everything's working. If it is, we'll make sure to secure the wire and tuck it all in, and I'll show you how to do that. But now we're gonna pull this out. So the first step is you wanna take these two plastic bezel pieces off, and you just pull on them, just like that. And they come out. Now, don't squeeze them too much because there is a little bit of give there. And then the next thing you need to take out is this. And what I like to do is just grab here and pull straight out. And then the next thing you need to do is this piece here needs to be popped up. And so you can get a pry tool or your fingernails up under here and just work your way across to where this pulls up here. Okay, and so now that this is a little bit loose, there's a bolt here and a bolt here, and that's a 10 millimeter, and we need to remove those. And then this bolt right here on this side, and there's one just like it on the other side. Okay, now once you remove those, just gently pull out on this whole assembly. So here's our wiring harness, and I've unplugged all of these from the factory harness, and we're going to plug that in right here, and then we're going to connect. Again, for now we're just going to actually there's not enough there to splice into, but for now we're just going to twist these together just to see if they're see if this is going to work. And then the ground is here. And then this video I'm gonna plug into here. All right, now this will plug in to this one here from the regular factory harness. I'm gonna readjust and move this closer so I can get all that plugged in. Now we've got everything kind of wired up together just temporarily. We're gonna go ahead and turn the key on and test and see if it worked. So when we put it in reverse, we should see a camera, and we do. Awesome. Okay, so that's working. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to unhook the battery again and unplug those connections, and instead of making them wired like this, we're going to use real good connections, connect them together and get everything put back together, and then run all the wiring. Okay, so we've got these two wires taped off, and what I've found is I'm going to pull all this weather stripping out. Let me go ahead and pull this threshold off. Should just pull up, there we go, and then it kind of slides out. And there's these two clips clip on right there and right there. And so then I'm going to pull this the rest of the way out so that I have room to kind of fish this back in here. Okay. And then there's a hook down here. I don't know if you can see it. Right, this white clip that I'm getting the wires up underneath so that they run right along here, just like this. And then we'll put them in here. And then we're gonna tuck them up underneath this molding as well. And then let's go to the front seat. All right, so this just pulls up as well. And so you want to continue to run this wire and tuck it along this wiring harness or wiring batch here, just like that. And then we're going to tuck it underneath this molding here and run it all the way back up here, and then find a couple of wires to zip tie it to underneath here, and then I'll show you how to get it up through there in just a second. Okay, so I've got all the wire underneath here, and so but I want it back here, so what I'm gonna do is run hanger again, and there's a spot back in here you can run it through, and it will come out under the dash. And so, which is right here. Now what I'm going to do is tie my cord onto this and pull it up through just like that. Now we got that. So now we're just pulling the rest of the wire through. And here we go. So now we just have to untie this and then hook up these wires here, and we're ready to reinstall. Okay, so now we got everything back and hooked up. All the extra wires are shoved back here. The wiring harness, I've got everything taped, secured my connections. And now we just need to take all these plugs, plug them back into here, and we'll slide this back in. Okay, so we got that in place. This latches in here. You snap that in there, and then these vents just slide straight in. Or should slide straight in, just like that. And then, oh, before you put these in, we forgot these two bolts. The two bolts with washers go right there and right there. Those two bolts are now in. The vents slide straight in, click into place. The two bolts right here, and then these bezel pieces here just clip into place. Okay, now everything is good. So we're gonna go plug the battery back in, or put the negative side back on the battery, and we're gonna check it out live. Okay, so now we got the car running, and so we're gonna try it out. So this is in park, and so when we put it in reverse, the camera comes on. All right, so now that we know that's working, we're gonna put the trim pieces back on the doors, and then put the trim in the trunk, and we'll show that real quick, and that'll be a wrap. Okay, so this is pushed in secure. Make sure these are all pushed back in, so that's good. Now check this one. We got to put this weather stripping back in first. Okay. And then remember these metal clips here. This one kind of slides up under and then goes in. Okay, and we have these 6 nuts that we have to replace to secure the plastic that holds the Toyota emblem and the camera. All right, so now we've got all the wire run back through here, got the zip ties on and everything taped up, and it's all looking good. So now we got to put this back on. Slides up through here, and again these push pins just go in and then snap in place just like that. All right, that is it. So that's the final product. So thanks for watching. Hope this video was helpful for you. Think about subscribing. We'd love to have you on our subscriber list. And then if you have any comments, you can put them down below. And this is a new Camry. So, well, it's new to us, a new Camry. So you'll be seeing more videos about the Camrys. So if you have any suggestions or any thing that you want to see, maybe I'll do a video on it. Post below. Thanks.